Hello and welcome to Learning English. I am Thekla Uzozie. Today we are going to be discussing pronouns. So we'll go right into the lesson. Now, what is a pronoun? A pronoun is the part of speech that can take the place of a noun in a sentence. Remember, we said that there are 8 parts of speech in the English language, and they are the noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. The noun is the part of speech that names a person, animal, place, or thing. Or, like we commonly know, a noun is the name of a person, animal, place, or thing. Now, the pronoun is the second part of speech, and it is the part of speech that can take the place of a noun in a sentence. It can replace a noun, and the sentence will still make complete sense. Now, let us take a look at the sentence we have on the board. Mide is a boy. We have 2 nouns here, Mide, which is a proper noun, and boy, which is a common noun. But our main focus is Mide, which is the proper noun. And this is where pronouns come in. And we want to write this sentence and replace this noun here with a pronoun. We would say, he is a boy. He is a boy. And the sentence will make complete sense. Pronouns, this is one of the functions of pronouns in a sentence. Now, another thing that pronouns do in a sentence is to avoid repetition. If you say a noun so much in a sentence, it sounds somehow to the ears. Take, for instance, when you say something like, Mide is a boy. Mide attends King's College, Lagos. Mide has 2 sisters. Now, we've said Mide 3 times. I mean, it sounds somehow. To make this sentence better, we can say, Mide is a boy. He attends King's College, Lagos. He has 3 sisters, or 2 sisters, as the case may be. So, pronouns are used to make a sentence sound better. Because when you use a noun too much, the sentence begins to sound too monotonous. Now, there are various types of pronouns. But for the purpose of this lesson, we are going to be focusing on the 4 main types. Now, we have the personal pronouns as the first type of pronoun. The personal pronouns are pronouns that refer to persons or things in some cases. And the personal pronouns can occupy the subject position in a sentence, the object position in a sentence, or they can be used in the possessive sense. Now, what is the object of a sentence? The object of a sentence is the reason the sentence is. Like this sentence, he is a boy. The person we are referring to in this sentence is he, and that is the subject of a sentence. This is the person that we are referring to in this sentence. So, the pronouns that occupy the subject position are I, we, you, he, she, it, and they. Now, you can use any of these pronouns in the subject position. So we can say, I am a girl. We are girls. You are a girl. He is a boy. She is a girl. It is a cat. They are women. So any of these pronouns can occupy the subject position. And it's best you know them so that you'll be able to use them correctly. Now, we have the object pronouns. These are pronouns that take the object position in a sentence. Now, these objects are the things that the subject of the sentence is referring to, the receiver of the action in a sentence. Now, when we say something like, I am a girl, and when you want to use me as an object in a sentence, you could say, she is here with me. You cannot say something like, she is here with I, because I is supposed to be used in the subject position. So she is here with me. She is here with us. She was here with you. She is here with him. She is here with her. She is here with it. She is here with them. Any of these object pronouns can take the place of an object in a sentence. Me, us, you, him, her, it, and them. They take the object positions in a sentence. Now, the possessive pronouns. These are pronouns that show possession. They show that you own something. Now you could say, this is my cat. It is not just any cat, it is my own. You could say, this marker is my own, it's mine. This marker is mine. That means it's my own. I own it, not any other person. So you can say, this is my marker. The marker is mine. This is our marker. The marker is ours. This is your marker. The marker is yours. This is his marker. The marker is his. Now, a lot of people have problems with this because you have to use it in, it's not different like the rest. So there's nothing like his, it is his, no. This is his marker, the marker is his. There is no other form of writing this. There's no other way of writing this. So you can say, this is her marker, the marker is hers. This is, well, you cannot say it now. So for this possessive pronoun, it is usually mistaken for the contracted form of it is. Now, we usually misplace this for this. When you are trying to show that something belongs to something, you can only use this. Take, for instance, you have a cat, and the cat has kittens. You could say, this is its kittens. You know, you cannot just, you can use that for things, animals, if you like. But this is a contracted form of it is, because this apostrophe here represents that a letter has been taken out of this word. So if you want to write it in full, it is it is. So when you use it in place of this, it makes no sense. Now you can also say this is their marker, it is theirs. It is good you learn all these pronouns so that you'll be able to use them correctly. Like, so that you won't mistake this for this. Now, that is the type of pronouns, the types of pronouns under personal pronouns. And we'll move over to reflexive pronouns. These type of pronouns refer back to the subject, and they are just 8 in number. Myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, and themselves. Now, they are just 8 in number. You cannot add, there is no other reflexive pronoun there is. This is just the number. If you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. They are just 8 in number. And this type of pronoun gives some students issues because sometimes they could just say ourself. They remove this VES and put F to represent this if they like. The presence of our here means that you're referring to more than one person. So it is ourselves and not ourself. Yourselves and not yourself. Now, for example, let us make use of myself. I cooked the food myself. So the myself at the end of that sentence is referring back to I, that is me. So when I say I cooked the food myself, I am trying to lay emphasis on the fact that I did the cooking on my own. I cooked it myself. You washed the dishes yourself. He washed the clothes himself. She washed the floor herself. It did it on its own. Itself, when you're talking about a thing. Ourselves, we did it ourselves. Yourselves, you did it yourselves. Themselves, they did it themselves. You know, these are examples of sentences or ways you can use these reflexive pronouns. Now, do not make the mistake of thinking that because this has a VES version, that this will too and this will too. No, it's not. If you look at the pronouns here, your and yours. So you have yourself and yourselves. You and you. Because you can use you to refer to one person and use you to refer to people as well. So that's why you have yourself and yourselves. So we move over to the indefinite pronouns. These type of pronouns do not refer to a particular person or thing. They convey the idea of all, some, any, or none. They do not refer to a particular person. Now take for instance, no one came for my party. Now you're not referring to a particular person. You're talking about people individually, individual people, and you're referring to them, but nobody in particular. Take for instance, you have one person, two people, three people, 4, 5, and 6 people. Now, you say you want to invite everyone to your party. Let's take a look at this sentence now. Everyone is or are welcome. When you look at this sentence, you could say, well, everyone is welcome since we are not referring to. You can say everyone are welcome since you have seen everyone here. That means you're referring to more than one person. But no, the correct thing to use here is. Everyone is welcome. Now, this is because all of these indefinite pronouns are singular. So you use singular verbs in the present tense for them. Now, look at the indefinite pronouns we have. Anybody, everybody, nobody, each, anyone, everyone, someone, no one, either, anything, everything, something, nothing, and neither. It's good you learn all of these pronouns so that you will not make mistakes when writing them. Now let's take a look at some other examples. Let's look at this sentence. No one knows tomorrow. Now we have, this sentence can get a little bit confusing because of the use of this plural marker s. But this sentence is absolutely correct because knows can be used both in the plural form and in the singular form. So it is not flouting any rule here. You can say no one knows tomorrow, and you are absolutely correct. Now, let's look at another sentence. Neither of the two teams scored a goal. Now, let's go back to this sentence. Remember to always put a full stop at the end of each sentence. Begin your sentence with a capital letter and end it with a full stop. Now, no one knows tomorrow. This shows the relationship between the subject of a sentence and the verb. We call this in grammar concord. Every subject of every sentence must agree with the verb. So if your verb is singular, if your subject is singular, your verb should be singular. If your subject is plural, you have a plural verb. So no one knows tomorrow. This could be confusing because of this rule, because the S here, the plural marker S, makes it look like we have flouted a rule. But that is not the case. This can be used, knows can be used in both the singular and plural contexts. Now, let's take a look at this other sentence to help us understand concord better. Neither of the two teams scored a goal. Take, for instance, the Super Eagles, the Nigerian Super Eagles are playing any other team, maybe the team from Cameroon, and they didn't score, neither of the two teams scored a goal. So you are trying to tell somebody asks you, which team scored the goal? You now say, neither of the two teams scored a goal. Now, neither of the two teams. If you want to explain this when it comes to concord, neither of the two teams was able to score a goal. Neither of the two teams was able to score a goal. Now, this could get confusing because of S here. You look at S and you say, how can you be using was for two teams? But your concern here should be the subject of this sentence, which is neither. So none of them was able to score a goal. So you're going to ignore this noun here and focus on this subject here so that you would be able to dictate if it is plural or singular. Each one of these indefinite pronouns is a singular pronoun. So that is it about indefinite pronouns. Now we move over to interrogative pronouns. These are pronouns that are used to ask questions. And they are who, whom, whose, what, and which. Now, you should know that who, whom, and whose are used to refer to human beings. What and which are used to refer to things. Now, let's take some examples. Who is that? You're talking about a person. Whose marker is that? You're talking about a person. But what? What is that? You're not talking about any person. Which of them is yours? Which of these two things are yours? You are referring to things. Now, we go over to what and which. Let us discuss what and which now. What is used in the general sense, and which is used to refer to things specifically. Now, let's take, for instance, your mother takes you to a supermarket and you're standing there, all the aisles are filled with a lot of goodies. And then she asks you, what do you want? Now, she's asking you what you want because there are a lot of things to choose from. So if she asks you, what do you want? You can now make a choice. Now, in that same supermarket, let's say you move over to the toy section and you look at the toys and then she asks you, which do you want? Which of them do you want? She won't ask you what you want now because you have a limited option. You are in the toy section, so it's not like you are in the whole supermarket. You're going to pick from everywhere. You just want a toy. So she would ask you, which do you want? Which can be used to refer to things that are limited options, but what can be used to refer to things that are broad. Now, for example, if I tell you, my eye itches, you will not ask me what eye. You will ask me which eye, because I have only two eyes. So that is it for them. Now, who and whom. We've mentioned earlier that this is used to refer to people alone. Now, I'll have you know that who can be used in any context in modern English, and you'll be absolutely correct. You can use who anywhere. But if you would love to know the grammatical difference between who and whom, this is it. Now let's take an example. Dapo visited Ada. Dapo visited Ada. He visited Ada, maybe at home or in school, whichever one it is. Now, if we want to find out who visited Ada, who is used in the subject position, while whom is used in the object position. Now, let's say we want to find out who visited Ada. We are referring to the subject now. So we would say, who visited Ada? You will not say, Dapo visited Ada. But if we want to find out about Ada, that is who Dapo visited, you can still use who. Who did Dapo visit? But if you want to use it specifically, if you want to make use of whom, you can use it here. Whom did Dapo visit? Because this now this person is in the object position. It is the receiver of the action. So that is it, the difference between who and whom, what and which. Now, that's all for the types of pronouns. Remember, we said that a pronoun is the part of speech that replaces a noun or that can replace a noun in a sentence. Example, Mide is a boy. You can replace it with he is a boy. Pronouns are used to prevent repetition in sentences so that you don't have to repeat the noun so many times that it sounds somehow to the ears. Now, we mentioned the types of pronouns. We said there are personal pronouns, reflexive pronouns, indefinite pronouns, and the interrogative pronouns. Now, the personal pronouns are of three types: the subject pronouns, the object pronouns, the possessive pronouns. The subject pronouns are used in the subject position, and they are I, we, you, he, she, it, and they. The object pronouns are used in the object position, and they are me, us, you, him, her, it, and them. And the possessive pronouns are used to show possession. My, mine, our, us, your, yours, his, hers, her, hers, his, her, hers, and all of that. Now, we talked about the reflexive pronouns used to refer back to the subject, the indefinite pronouns that do not refer to a person in particular, and then the interrogative pronouns that are used to ask questions. Now, that is it for pronouns, and I hope you learned a thing or two from this lesson. So until I come your way next time, this has been Learning English, and I am Thekla Uzozie. Bye-bye.